Well, hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood. Hello, citizens of Gotham. You are watching The Political Vigilante, just finishing up a delicious vegan smoothie. So good. So good. And then a water bottle. What is up? It is Tuesday, October 26th. Welcome, everybody watching on YouTube, Facebook, Rokfin.com, and people watching on the TikTok. Folks, if you're not, if you don't follow me on TikTok, it's at Graham Elwood on TikTok. We just passed 30,000 followers on TikTok. TikTok. My Chicago coming in there. TikTok. We're on the TikTok. So yeah, we just passed 30,000 followers on TikTok. How cool is that? I have that seatbelt video that has gotten 4.1 million views, which is the most watched thing I've ever made in my life, which is very cool. And two other videos are in the 200,000 or 300,000 view range. And then there's a bunch that are like 10, 20, 30,000. The one I just dropped a couple days ago is already at 13,000 views, which is awesome. So thank you to all of you watching on all of these various platforms. You know, thank you for 30,000. How cool is that? And I just want to love you, Graham. Love your hard stance on vaccines, and your veganism makes you look good. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Here's my TikTok. I'm going to put that on the other. And welcome to everybody watching over at Rokfin.com/Graham Elwood. That is a blockchain cryptocurrency platform. If you're watching on one of the other platforms, go to Rokfin. Some exciting stuff's going to be happening with Rokfin. So I wanted to make an update. I said this last night on the Late Night Crypto Lounge. What's up, Cat B? How's the lab? How's everything in the lab, Cat B? Cat B is currently working to make socialist AIs to infiltrate capitalism and take them out. That would be great, Cat, if you were actually doing that. I'm on board with that. If there's a GoFundMe for that, I'm in. So I talked about this last night in the Late Night Crypto Lounge, which, by the way, if you go to Rokfin.com/Graham Elwood, it is free to sign up. But we do a premium members live stream on Monday nights, which we did. Hit the like button, whatever platform you're watching. So we were going to do this, the game show that I've been doing, Anything Can Happen. If you're watching on TikTok, go check out my YouTube or Rokfin pages, and you can see all the videos there. Sorry, just fish. I know, Cat. All right. But like robot socialist fish that swim upstream and attack capitalism. Come on. I needed some sort of sci-fi plot. But the Anything Can Happen game show, we were going to shoot a pilot in Los Angeles, and that has been postponed because just this looming strike might happen with IATSE and a lot of factors. So I talked with Martin from Rokfin yesterday, and he's like, well, Graham, and I was like, we're also going to, I thought we could get this one studio, the All Things Comedy Studio, and shoot it there. They have all their own equipment and all their own stuff, and it would be a lot cheaper. That's not possible. So which raises the cost. And I was like, wow, we could we need to raise a little more money. So one of the things that Rokfin is going to start doing is basically doing like crowdfunding NFTs. Now, NFTs are non-fungible tokens, and they're basically, I'm just starting to understand them more as I've been really this little over a year now, 14, 15 months of studying crypto. I'm starting to understand what NFTs are. Basically, it's for content creators, artists, even athletes to take a digital collectible. Like I always use the simplest example is like a baseball card, right? You want to buy a baseball card, like I don't know, Javi Baez baseball card, a physical baseball card. Now NFTs are digital collectibles, and because they're made in the blockchain, You can make this a digital thing that's a unique. It's only one, and the blockchain will tell you if it's the real one or not, and people buy them. And then you, as the content creator, whenever somebody sells it, you get paid, which as a content creator is a big deal, because I have movies that I've directed that are out there making other people money, like Amazon, and I'm not seeing a penny. And so what Rokfin is doing is like so we're going to do this live game show, and I'll have way more details. I need to have a meeting with Martin and Nick, his crypto guy. They got a great team over at Rokfin. I'm very happy with them. So, and their whole thing, and this is Martin's whole thing, is he wants content creators need to get paid their fair value. We generate all this content for all these big tech companies to make all this money, and we're not getting paid enough. And so what the NFT would be doing is, so it's like a combination of like NFTs and crowdfunding. So we're going to do let's use the example that anything can happen live game show. I want to shoot it on a sound stage in front of a studio audience, like The Price is Right or whatever, have bells and really do it upright. That's going to take some money. So, and I'm going to get more details on this, but we're going to have like an NFT. So you could buy, you buy this NFT, and we'll figure out kind of tiers and stuff like a Kickstarter or a GoFundMe. And you get this unique collectible, and your money helps finance that project. So then what Rokfin is going to do, and then we're going to put that on Rokfin. So like all my videos on Rokfin, you can tip them $2, $5, whatever. Even the free videos, that's a great way to support the show. You don't have to sign up for the Rokfin premium. You could just go over to Rokfin, create an account for free at rokfin.com. And if there's any videos I like, you can tip it a couple of bucks. So what Rokfin is doing then, so then we'll put the game show on Rokfin, the fancy TV version. And then, so if you bought an NFT that helped finance that show, anytime somebody tips it, you'll get a percentage back. So it's also kind of like you're helping fund a project. Then you'll also potentially could get some of your investment back. How much will you get it all back? I don't know. There's no guarantees on any of that stuff, but I just thought like, wow, this is really groundbreaking. And I've always tried to get out on the cutting edge of things as best I can. And there's some things I was late to the party on. YouTube, I was I should have started doing YouTube like 10 years ago, not 4.5. If I was started doing YouTube 10 years ago, I'd have 1 million YouTube subscribers, right? So some stuff I'm slow to pick up, but podcasting, I got involved in that. And so that's what we're going to be working on. I'm going to have a bunch more conversations. Obviously, I need to be sort of educated on the specifics of how Rokfin is going to do that, but that's going to be a very cool thing that we're going to be talking about in the weeks to come. So check that out. Oh, Mort Saul passed away. Man, I'm sorry to hear that. He was a genius. Mort Saul was a genius. I didn't know that till just looking at the chat. Man, he was a genius. So, as I've talked about on this show, and Ron and I have talked about, we want to do more like scripted content, more episodic content, more feature films, and have it with a political social commentary, because Hollywood doesn't make I want to create a socialist Hollywood is really what I'd like to do. But that's not coming. And the big hurdle is like, well, how do we finance these projects? Well, this could be it. I don't know. It's the early stages. I just had a couple conversations with Martin, but this could potentially be a big deal. So yeah. That's something we're going to be working on this show, and I'll be giving you more details like that. I also had a great conversation with Susie Dawson about her. I'm going to put Mort Saul's stuff up there. About her work. She's uncovered a bunch of stuff, and I've gotten to look at some of it. She's going to be releasing a pretty big article either later today or tomorrow. And we're going to have either her or Sean O'Brien on the show. Moscow might going back to a full lockdown where she can't go. when she does any interviews, she goes to a studio to do it, like an office. And so they might not be able to do that, which is crazy. So, anyway, we'll have either Susie or Sean O'Brien, who we've had on the show. We've had Sean on the show in the past because he's heavily involved with Panquake. But that's what we're going to be. That's what we're going to be talking about, everybody. So a lot of cool ways we're going to be doing some cool stuff, this year, end of 21 and into 2022, we're going to be doing some cool stuff. Also, I should announce, Ron Placone and I have a show. We have a live show Saturday, November 27th, at Ms. Robinson's Irish Pub in Toluca Lake, which is in the Valley in the LA area. So you got to start somewhere. So that the tickets for that show, it's a cool little venue. It's Ron Placone and I doing our show, and we'll have some guest spots on there for sure. And that is Saturday, November 27th. The tickets are $20. You can go to grahamelwood.com for those tickets. It's a cool little intimate venue, so it might sell out quickly. So get your tickets now. It's the Saturday after Thanksgiving. So check that out. If you're in the LA area around the Thanksgiving, or you live there, whatever, come check it out. So we'll have to do a live stream from your pocket or something. I don't get what that means. So check that out. And then, of course, if you want to support the show, you can go to rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. And if you tip the show right now, put a tip in there. I will absolutely answer that question. I'll do that after the segments. Someone's inviting me to go live together on... Oh, invite another guest. Okay, cool. Someone wants me to go live with them on TikTok. I've never done that. I don't know what that's like. Crazy. What's up, TikTokerins? TikTokies. Okay. Oh, God, I gotta have a pair of readers. Oh, it's Annabelle Corley's birthday. Wish Annabelle a happy birthday. I hope things are well down under. Oh, Jesus. This is really... There we go. It was getting away from me. So the United States has just announced that it's going to start opening its borders to foreign travel, which means people can come visit, and then hopefully other countries will start opening up. So as soon as Australia opens its borders, which they're talking about end of the year, maybe December, I'm going. So maybe Ron Placone and I will be touring there in the spring. Well, our spring, your fall. Or maybe we're going to be going to Europe. We're looking to try to do a European tour. Any number of things can happen. Yeah. Annabelle's having her birthday. Hello, Alberto. We need some pew pew. Yeah, we'll be doing government secrets later this week, ladies and gentlemen. Check out all of my government secrets. If you're new to who I am and what I'm doing, like you're watching me on TikTok or whatever, go to grahamelwood.com. You'll figure it all out. Let us do. I just got done uploading Mort's videos. One, which was George Carlin's first time on TV. Glasgow on tour. Yeah, we'll hit Glasgow. Yeah, so we're talking about this European tour. We're talking about we would go to probably London. Love to hit Glasgow. Maybe Dublin, and then Berlin I know is doing comedy. There's English speaking comedy clubs in Italy, maybe even I think there might even be one in Barcelona. So we're going to try to put that together. Prague, we start going east, then it means we might have to duck on into Moscow and St. Petersburg. Surfs Up in Oz, right on. I think everyone wants to travel. All right, so let's do this. Let's do this segment. Hold on. Errol, that was a little weird if you're watching on TikTok, but you can do it. Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching The Political Vigilante. Look at that rise up. So a great way to support the show is go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood, where you can submit articles like Independent Left News has done. They've been supporting this channel for a while. Very much appreciate it. And this is a Karen Savage, who is this is an opinion piece, but she's a reporter. And she's talking about how she was targeted under Louisiana's felony trespassing law for reporting on police working for a pipeline company. Yeah, they want to build this pipeline in Louisiana, which we all know pipelines are fantastic. Oh, when they spill, it's good for the earth. That Granny Petrol loves it. An investigative journalist shares a perspective after being arrested twice while reporting on resistance to the Bayou Bridge pipeline construction. So she was just reporting. This is a journalist reporting on water protectors. And in this article, and we'll go into it, she talks about how in some kinds, these water were chaining themselves. I mean, these are, people putting themselves, their bodies physically on the line, like what happened at Standing Rock 4 or 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Sorry. And she was like, in some cases, I was the only journalist covering this. And they tried to arrest her. They did arrest her, and they tried to charge her, and the charges just got dropped. But this is the state we're living in. And this is important because Julian Assange's extradition case is starting up in the next 2 days, right? It's nuts. We already know the CIA willfully said we were trying to assassinate Julian Assange. And now Joe Biden's trying to say, oh, that was Trump's evil. The CIA was so evil under Trump. But now Biden's CIA has the rainbow flags and diversity, and they have a bake sale. It's really nice over there at the CIA now. I'm an investigative journalist, and I've been arrested twice in 2018, both times for allegedly trespassing on what's known as critical infrastructure, a felony under a then new Louisiana law that, at the urging of the oil and gas industry. So this is what they say. It's critical infrastructure. So that's, without oil, we can't function. Yeah, we could if we went to a green economy, if we went to green energy. We absolutely could do that. But we don't want to, because the oil industry owns this country. Like George Carlin used to say, he goes, we're an oil company with an army. That's what America is. And you think Biden's making it better? No, he's not. And Louisiana prosecutors have 4 years to decide whether they will press charges. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, a Louisiana district attorney confirmed in July that he will not prosecute me or the nearly 24 pipeline opponents known as water protectors. Right? They finally dropped the charges, because they know they'll probably get more protesters. I mean, that's what happened the summer of George Floyd protests. Made a lot of people in power go, uh-oh, we don't want that again. It could have been worse. As a straight, older white woman, I'm far less likely to be targeted at the various stages of the justice system than my colleagues and friends who are LGBTQ and Black, Indigenous, and people of color, BIPOC. So here's what the pipeline is, by the way. All these pipelines are awful. I'm going to show you a map in a second of all the pipeline spills since 1986. here's a hint. Here's a little spoiler. It's not a small map. The 163-mile pipeline project to carry North Dakota oil through southern Louisiana had drawn fierce opposition from the moment it was proposed. There were contentious public hearings, passionate rallies, marches, and calls for state legislatures to put a stop to the project. I remember in the Gulf of Mexico, it was on fire this past summer. Remember that when the ocean was on fire? Like, when are we going to figure out this is bad? We just had 130,000 gallons spill off of Huntington Beach in Southern California. Beaches were closed. A surf spot I go to just finally opened up, Bolsa Chica and Anderson Street. It was closed. There's little oil balls in the water. It's nuts. It's absolutely insane. The pipeline company knew it didn't have permission to rip down centuries-old cypress trees and literally grind them into a pulp. It knew it didn't have permission to carve a deep waterlogged trench through the pristine land. And this is some of her reporting back in 2018. This is like on Facebook. They cut this section within the past few days, and it looks like they're still in the process of clearing trees and digging. So she's Energy Transfer Partners. We know them. They're awful. Look at this. This is from a swamp. They're just gutting this vital part of the ecosystem. I talked about this when I first started doing Political Vigilante in January of 2017, is that the fossil fuel industry, one of the reasons they keep building pipelines is for investors. Because when the whole world just pivots away from fossil fuels, when the whole world goes, we got to do something about the environment, everyone's going to pivot away from fossil fuels. So the reason they keep building the pipeline, so what that means is when the investors, which is the big institutional money, the hedge funds and those big banks and everything like that, when they go, there's no money in oil 20 years from now, we're pulling our money out. That's when fossil fuels is done. There is a carbon bubble. I've talked about this. The head of the Bank of England back in 2015 gave a speech saying that there is a carbon bubble, meaning all this investment money into the fossil fuel industry, and it could pop and explode and cause a financial collapse, right? We've seen all the wars started because of oil. We've seen what America does when a country gets off of the petrodollar. But I don't want to go make this too much. I don't want to get too convoluted in this, but I just want to make it clear that this is the fossil fuel industry. The reason they keep building pipelines is to go, hey, big investors, oil's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. We're building pipelines. We're getting rid of these hippies. We're locking up journalists. The cops are with us. It's all good. Because when you have countries like India that has a huge smog problem saying we're having no more cars, when you have companies like Jaguar and Volkswagen say we're not going to make gas cars anymore, right? When you have, Ford coming out with an electric car and all this other electric trucks and all these cars, and Mustang is now when you have this coming out, it's sending a message to fossil fuels that they're going to be done. So they double down on this. I mean, and she's just was reporting it. My next story in the Bayou Bridge pipeline, again, this is from 2018, will be out soon. Here's what it looked like a few days ago. Energy Transfer Partners, ETP, does not have legal permission to cut trees, dig a trench, or run a pipeline through this piece of land. They didn't have permission, and they did it anyway. And you might be asking, well, how are they able to do that? How can they do that? I'll tell you how. Through a security contractor, the pipeline company paid local sheriff's deputies to serve as its private mercenaries. So this is how corrupt our system is. And this is why it's such a joke when people think, well, their party's better than the other party. Whoever's in the White House, then the other party goes, well, once we get that person out. So all the conservatives, right, we got to get Biden and those crazy liberals out of there. Then everything will be better, right? For 4 years under Trump, all the liberals are like, boy, we got to get Trump out of there. Just get anyone. I'll vote for any blue will do. 163-mile pipeline going through all these different states. You don't think any of those states had Democratic governors or Democratic state houses or anything like that? Come on. Look at Joe Biden. He's fine with pipelines. He was fine as vice president when Obama was fine with pipelines. But this is what they do. This is why we don't have a representative democracy. And when you don't have a free press, when you jail people like Julian Assange and everyone just kind of rolls over for it, no one in the corporate media, except maybe Tucker Carlson, but I don't see Joy-Ann Reid, I don't see anybody else saying, hey, we shouldn't jail journalists. So this is a woman just reporting that a big company is breaking the law. She's not lying. The law is on the books. She didn't write the law. The law was on the books. They can't do this. They're doing it. She's showing it. She's reporting it live. I mean, basically real time. And she gets locked up because they hire private security. We saw this at Standing Rock. We saw how, what was it? Tiger Swan was a private security company that did contract work in Iraq, went to Standing Rock and targeted water protectors the same way they do terrorists. Taking direction from pipeline construction workers, the deputies tackled, choked, pepper sprayed, tased, and arrested water protectors, all under the pretext of enforcing the new felony law. So they were breaking the law, cutting trees, but then they said, oh, these water protectors are attacking critical infrastructure. So see how they're targeting activists as terrorists? Oh, they're domestic terrorists. So the people that took over the Capitol building with automatic weapons and Nazi paraphernalia, with Nazi t-shirts, Camp Dachau, 6 million wasn't enough t-shirts. They're not domestic terrorists. They were just freedom fighters or something. The domestic terrorists are actually people like the Energy Transfer Partners. But I wanted to show you this map. Look at this. Since 1986, right? These are red is deaths, yellow is injuries, black dots are hazardous liquids, mostly oil, scaled by spill size, and purple is natural gas. 1,339 incidents, 127 fatalities, 622 injuries, property damage, $276 million. Look at this. So I don't care where you are on the political spectrum, but let's say these are all red states in here. I mean, every state has something, has had something. Every single state, except Maine. So you're like a red state conservative and you like hunting and fishing. That's awesome. They're contaminating your oil, your water supply. You like to fish? Well, how are you going to fish if the fish are dead because there was an oil spill? This is people's land. These are fatality. I mean, these are people injured through no fault of their own. Not to mention, and this is not, these numbers are not taking into effect the like down the road ailments that pop up when you start doing this. So if we have a contaminated water supply and our soil's contaminated, we can't exist as a species. I don't know if people get that. And you would think this map, and you would think all of the cable companies and all the news channels, ABC, Fox, and CNN, they would all be screaming about this, but they can't. They might talk about this a little bit, but then they're going to go, there's two sides to this issue. And then they're going to cut to a commercial from Shell Oil or BP. And it'll be one of these greenwashing. We're spending up to $10 million on green energy research. $10 million is like $40 to a multi-billion-dollar company. So all this reporter did was show that they were breaking the law. And there was this like, oh, she's attacking critical infrastructure. These people are attacking. They're I'm sorry, but all of these deaths and injuries and contamination of land, they're probably hurting livestock. We don't even know. This is just the property, the immediate property damage. We don't know the long-term consequences of this. Any of it, I guarantee you, some of these dots are near schools. I guarantee it. So your children are getting sick? These oil companies are infringing upon your right to pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, as is outlined by the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. So these companies seem to me like they're actually domestic terrorists. They're anti-American. Want your kids to go play in a park? You want to go camping? You want to go hiking, fishing, hunting, any of that? Well, they're taking that right away from you because they just want money. And all right, so Northern California just had all these crazy floods, right? We were in a serious drought, and then all of a sudden, boom, all these crazy floods. And I've talked about this before. What if we had a pipeline infrastructure for water that would do two things? One, alleviate flooding, and then get water to drought areas. So any of this farm country, I mean, we just had, a couple of years ago, very bad droughts in like Iowa and the Midwest. What if we had a pipeline system to move anytime someone got flooding, to move water to them? I don't know. I'm not an engineer, but it's not some crazy science fiction I'm talking about. Why can't we do that? So vote with your dollars. Pull your money out of big banks and divest and put it into like credit unions. Because all of this takes funding. Pipelines take funding and loans and and the big banks, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, they all put money. So when you have a couple $1,000 in your checking account, they use that, they borrow against it. So they just targeted a journalist for doing her job. She was arrested for saying these oil companies were breaking the law, which they were. And now they're dropping charges. So now what? What's the repercussions for these oil companies? Are any charges going to be brought against them? You can't do it when the judges are bought, the politicians are bought, the cops are bought, the media is bought. It's all bullshit. We don't have a free media. We don't have a free press. I've been demonetized on YouTube. We're going to have Susie Dawson or Sean O'Brien on the show to talk about how I've personally been targeted. So that's what the big oil does. And they spend a lot of ad dollars on the major networks so that they get favorable coverage. And then they obviously thought up these laws in these, political think tanks that come up with these laws that say, what if we call it critical infrastructure? Now we'll call the water protectors terrorists and we can arrest them. So they write some laws. So it's all nonsense. Everything's rigged. Everything's bought and paid for. And you think voting for what? The Democratic Party is going to help? I always vote blue no matter who. Well, the Democratic Party takes a lot of money from oil. Just go to opensecrets.org and you'll find out. Follow the money, connect the dots, get the truth. Thanks for watching, everybody. Shave your knuckles for justice. Ba-boom. Boom. Boom. Wow. Hey, everybody on TikTok. How are you? I only buy oil smoothies. What? That's a Granny Petrol. MHC, thank you for supporting us at rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. I appreciate the tip, brother. Shave your knuckles for justice. Granny Petrol should have a moat of oil around her house. She should always lead by example. You're absolutely correct. MHC. Thank you for that. Kate, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Thank you for supporting our show, Kate, at rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. Who is in the Congress supposedly representing the people from that area where the pipeline is? Oh, who is in the Congress? Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, Louisiana. That's a great question. Which congressional members are representing Louisiana, that district in Louisiana? I don't know. That's a great question. Whoever they are, Republican or Democrat, I guarantee you they take money from the oil lobby in the state legislature in Louisiana. I guarantee. I don't even know them. I can tell you right now. I guarantee you they get money from the oil companies. Guarantee it. Find out who they are, go on Open Secrets, and you'll see some money from oil companies. Somebody, pipelines, something, natural gas, somebody. I guarantee it. I guarantee. Kate, what's up, Kate? Our moderator. We need to do direct democracy to do the job the citizens put the politicians in there for. Those people who abandon us, direct democracy via promoting binding referenda on ballots. Yeah, I know. I mean, direct democracy, it's elected officials are useless if they're in either of the two big parties. They are useless. They're useless. They're useless. And people think, well, we can reform the Democratic Party from within. No, you can't. But the squad, they've already capitulated. They've buckled. They might stand for this or that, but how many big bills have the squad put in there? And this new infrastructure bill that now is being gutted. So there's not even a pretense that it's going to have green energy in there. They're just gutting it. It'll just be bailouts for Wall Street. It won't do anything. And it's perfect for the Democrats because they can say, oh, these obstructionists. But these two, Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, they're Democrats. That's the Democratic Party. That's the Democratic Party that you think you can reform. They allow those two people in that party. And the Progressive Caucus in Congress won't use its leverage for anything. If the Progressive Caucus in Congress, which is 100 people, was actually trying to get something done, they would say, we're withholding our votes until we get a Green New Deal. We're withholding our votes until we get Medicare for all. We're withholding our votes until we get student debt forgiveness. But they won't. And now they can blame it on Joe Manchin, who's awful. I mean, he is awful, but it's insane. People think you can, if you can reform the Democratic Party from within, why don't you start trying to reform a drug cartel? Get them to start selling vegan smoothies instead of drugs and see if that's successful. And once you do that, which probably won't be that hard at all, then just get the Democratic Party. Either one. Kate, what's up, Kate? Thank you for supporting our show at rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. Lee Camp did a great video about how old people can help save the world by allowing themselves to be arrested. Wow. It wouldn't affect their career or livelihood because they would be retired. That's a great video. Lee Camp. Ten years ago, these towns in Massachusetts had large parts blow up because of natural gas explosions, led to the death of an 18-year-old. See, that's awful. I've done stories on this before. Fracking pipelines have blown up. I mean, just blown up explosions. I've talked about how Oklahoma has had all these earthquakes that it never used to have. And the earthquakes all started 10 years ago when they started doing more fracking. It's just preposterous, man. Sell mushroom smoothies like you do in Thailand. Yeah, the squad is folding like a house of cards. Yep. That happened while we were fighting against our town putting in gas lines. That's insane. That is insane in the membrane. MHC must have change. Thank you for supporting us at rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. Lesser of two drug cartels, but the lesser cartel will make vegan smoothies just with drugs added in. Yes, it's something. That's the incremental centrism that drives me insane of the centrist Democrats, because they're always like, late, not now, but later down the road, then we'll get it. At least, and it's like, yeah, Biden's awful. Yeah, but at least he's not Trump. It's like, those are the two choices. Joe Biden and Donald Trump. I mean, okay. Yeah, and it's like that. We often say, yeah, but, and it's like, we need like when Joe Biden during the primary said, well, now's not the time for revolution. Oh, right. The economy being shut down by a once in 100-year pandemic. Yeah, that's cool. And we all know revolutions happen when everything's going great. That's when revolutions happen. The civil rights movement, that happened in the 60s because Black people in the South just loved how they were being treated. They were like, this is great. We got it good. So let's start protesting. That's why that happened. Of course. Yes. Americans loved seeing how great the Vietnam War was going. That's why they protested the Vietnam War. They're like, it's awesome. The Vietnam War is going great. We're bringing democracy to Southeast Asia. It's awesome. Nobody's dying. Let's protest it. Maybe you remember, Graham, we won that fight in Bristol, Vermont. Yes, I do remember that. Yeah. And the liberals love the lesser of two evils. And it's like, and when you are critical of the Democratic Party, the liberals are like, don't be critical of them. And they help keep the Democrats in power. It's like, we need a third party. We need the People's Party. We need that now. I support the People's Party. I've had Nick Brana on the show. If you can register to vote as a People's Party for then do it. Because the more we can get People's Party candidates on ballots, the more they can win. They get them in state houses, local, city councils. It doesn't matter. We need more people like Kashwama Sawant and Nithya Ramon, who's a socialist that's on the LA City Council. Kashwama Sawant is on Seattle City Council. That's what we need. Yep. Yeah. The USA wants to kill Julian Assange, and the UK will send him because the world is so pathetic. I know, it's awful. We're in a terrible cycle of toxic self-relationships. I know. We also need mandatory party programs. When is the supermajority in the White House and Senate going to get to the good part? Yeah, I know. Yeah. Democrats have the House and the Senate, but now we've got two rogue Democrats. So see how convenient that is? Centrist Democratic Party, the corporate Democrats, need the Republicans or just people like, Kristen Sienna and Joe Manchin. They need that excuse. The Democratic Party, when they have majorities like Obama had for 2 years, they always need that, those obstructionist Republicans. No, it was Democrats Democrats caused the problem. Who's causing the problems right now? Joe Manchin and Kristen, two Democrats. Who's causing the problems? Democrats. And you still want to support this party? It's mind-numbing to me. It's mind numbing. This like votes. I'm going to vote for anyone because the Republicans always put up someone that's so awful. Oh, I got to vote for the Democrats. This is what you get. You get people like Joe Manchin and Kristen. That's what you get. That's what you get. You get Joe Biden's the most diverse cabinet ever. It's not diverse of ideology. Joe Biden's cabinet has no diverse of ideology. Right? Janet Yellen, first female secretary of the treasurer. Oh, okay. She got $1.7 million in speaking fees from all these big banks. And those banks don't need to hear about how the financial system works. They're not like, gee, we don't know how it works. Let's see what Janet Yellen has to say. They gave her those big speaking fees to buy influence. So when she becomes secretary of treasurer, they're going to get favorable legislation that doesn't hold the banks accountable. They're going to get nonsense laws that try to restrict, people from profiting from crypto unless you're a big bank. Secretary of Defense, first ever black man Secretary of Defense. He was on Raytheon's board of directors. That is a clear conflict of interest. Nobody in the corporate media said that. Nobody. So he has a financial incentive to keep war going because Raytheon profits from war. Do you see how this works? You see how it's all bullshit? Yeah. It's like, you want to know the two candidates in the Democratic primary that took the most money from big corporations and billionaires? Joe Biden, Kamala Harris. Boom, boom. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Weird that they end up in the White House. Kamala Harris, that dropped out before the Iowa caucuses, couldn't even make it to the first primary, drops out, and she becomes the vice president. Weird. I'm all for diversity. I'm all for representation. But why didn't we have like Nina Turner as the VP pick? Why couldn't they put Tulsi Gabbard in there? Kamala Harris. Okay. All right. Whatever you say. Alberto Carrera. So want Snowden 2024. I'm down with that. Was Nick Brana ever on the Anything Can Happen game show? I honestly can't remember. No, he wasn't, but that's a great idea. Maybe I'll have Nick on this week. That would be fun. I think he'd be a good game show host. A guest. I'm the host. Come on now. Yeah. The Dems have plenty of thrown down bad apples in case Manchin gets voted out. Yep. I knew Biden would pick Harris as soon as they cheated Bernie again. Still think Biden will have to resign and then Mayor Pete will be VP soon since the documentary just came out for him. I'm being divisive. Yeah, I think that's right. I've said this all along. I don't think Biden's going to finish his first term and Kamala Harris will be president. Yeah. And she'll pick Pete Buttigieg, which liberals will go, yay, diversity, openly gay man, which fine. That's great. But no one will be talking about how he's a former Navy intelligence officer who takes all this money from billionaires and big tech. And it's like, we have an actual CIA person in the White House. Wow. We've come so far from JFK saying we need to break the CIA up into 1,000 pieces and scatter it into the wind. And what happened to JFK? Did he won 2 terms, right? He's our greatest president ever. Oh no, they killed him. He wanted to get out of war and stop the CIA and they murdered him for it. Great. I forgot that. Sorry. Who do I think Kamala will bomb first? She'll bomb a country of color. It'll definitely be Kamala Harris, and everyone will go, wow, this is a great moment in diversity. Now the first ever woman, first ever person, female of color is now bombing poor people of color in the Middle East. I think she will. Put some water. All right. All right, kids. We have, all right. Thanks for watching. Bill Gates just needed a little Epstein money. Yeah. Yeah, they're going after Haiti. Who knows? They could go into Africa. Well, whoever doesn't want to use the petrodollar, they're on the top of the list. Whenever Kamala's president, if anyone says, "Oh, we're done with the petrodollar," we will invade them. That's make no mistake. Yeah. Check out our live show in Los Angeles. Whoops, that jumped on me. November 27th in Toluca Lake. Go to grahamelwood.com and appearances. Ron Placone and I are going to be doing stand-up comedy. It's November 27th in the Los Angeles area, the Saturday after Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is Thursday, November 25th. And then that's Saturday. So come out for that, folks. Graham and Ron Aussie tour. The toaster never lies. That'll be the name of our Aussie tour. Toaster Gate. The Australian toaster, the toaster never lies tour. Oh boy. I don't know if we can stay in that Airbnb in Adelaide again after the whole toaster thing. So the toaster tour. Graham and Ron's Australian toaster tour. Australia 2021, the toaster tour. Oh man. I think and just on stage will always be a toaster. Yeah. Remember flying toaster screensaver? Oh. I'd pay to see Grandma would ride a turtle. Well, that'd be weird. MHC, shave your knuckles for justice. Thank you for supporting our show, folks. You can do what MHC has done and go to rockfin.com/GrahamElwood, where I will answer your question. Speaking of the game show, Graham, I found the Twitter account for the Second Thought YouTube channel. It is an underscore in it, so it is a bit tricky to find. So I thought I would send it here in case you were still interested. It's @_Second Thought. Cool. Oh, thanks about that. I appreciate that. Thanks for sending it. Thanks for sending that our way, everybody. So we'll be taking tomorrow off because on Wednesdays I've been shooting like sketches and stuff for TikTok and the like, and doing other things. We'll be back Thursday with, at the very least, a You Should Know This with Ron Placone. If not a full game show. We're booking guests as it. No toaster, no entry. Uh-oh. That's I don't know, because I think they're going to require, I think Australia will require Ron to bring his own toaster from the States because they don't trust him using an Australian toaster because it toasts the opposite direction in Australia. I think that's the problem with Ron's. I am in Sydney, Nova Scotia, Sydney, New South Wales, in exactly 12 hours from here. Right on. So it's 4 in the morning? No. Isn't it like 8 a.m. in Australia? Will I stream a live show? Yeah, we've talked about it. It's just a little. Yeah, we gotta figure that out. We might do that. I could probably just do it on my phone. There's my phone right there. Yeah, buy a toaster, Ron Placone. All right, kids, that's we're gonna wrap the show up here. No show tomorrow, but we will be doing the game show Thursday night at 7:00 Pacific time, and then Government Secrets Friday, 3:00 Pacific time, 6:00 Eastern. Lee Camp and I doing another fantastic Gov Seeks. Lee Camp was doing the stand-up for Assange this past weekend. I think it was in New York City. I just saw some of the pictures of it. It looked pretty cool. Cornel West was there. Ted Alexandro was there, who's been on the show. See Graham and Ron having a fear and loathing in Las Vegas moment with toasters. Oh, it's 10 a.m. That's right. It's 18 hours. It's 12 plus 6. Yeah, God, that's a lot to figure out. Free Assange. Gov Seeks is awesome. I love doing Gov Seeks. Oh, yeah. All right. All right, folks. So I'm going to go over to Rockfin. If you're watching on YouTube, I got to sign off here in a few minutes because because I can't sing karaoke on YouTube. I'll get a copyright strike. So we got to go to rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. But I think we'll still watch it on the TikToky. So hop on over to Rockfin, where we will pick a song. I'm in Canada. It's 8:13. I get 2 birthdays, Australian tomorrow in America. Right on. Ciao Bella, ladies and gentlemen. Toast my toast. All right, YouTubers. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Go on over to rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. It is free to sign up. And you can see me sing karaoke. If you want to be a premium member, you get access to Graham Goes to Russia, my documentary about going to Russia 2 years ago, and Afghanistan. That documentary was about me performing in Afghanistan for the U.S. military. You can see me perform at bases that have now been overrun by the Taliban because our government's so fantastic. You get all the karaoke, you get a lot of premium content. As soon as the live streams are done, I put them behind a paywall. You can support our show at patreon.com/Graham Elwood. And of course, Venmo at Graham-Elwood. You can support the show there. I have a PayPal button at GrahamElwood.com. Come see our live show. There's a lot of great ways to support the show. And if money's tight, I totally get it if money's tight. Just hitting the like and subscribe and the follow button on anything that I'm doing, all that stuff helps. Like we're almost at 40. We just hit 30,000 people on TikTok today. Thank you so much, TikTok. and we are close to getting 40,000 followers on Rockfin.com. We have 77,000 subscribers on YouTube, but they've been throttling. They've been unsubscribing people. We were at 78,000. We should be at 300,000 subscribers easy, but they keep fucking with us. So anyway, thank you everybody over at YouTube. Come join us at rockfin.com. So thank you, YouTubers. Shave your knuckles for justice, and we will see you soon. Follow money, connect the dots, get the truth. Go.